Introduction. Since the end of World War II in 1945, the world has lived in a state of unstable balance among great powers. Despite regional conflicts and proxy wars, the threat of a Third World War remains a contentious topic on the international stage. In recent decades, concerns have emerged regarding the possibility of World War III due to geopolitical tensions, an arms race, and economic conflicts. Potential factors for the outbreak of World War III. Tensions among great powers. The United States and Russia. Tensions between these two countries date back to the Cold War era. Although the Cold War officially ended, relations between the U.S. and Russia remain strained, especially following the Ukrainian crisis in 2014 and allegations of electoral interference. The United States and China. The increasing competition between the U.S. and China, particularly regarding economic, technological, and military influence in the Pacific, could escalate conflicts between these giants. 2. Nuclear armament, nuclear weapons proliferation. The existence of massive nuclear arsenals in several countries can be a primary cause for the outbreak of World War III. Rising tensions among nuclear-armed states such as the U.S., Russia, China, and India place the world on the brink of a potentially catastrophic confrontation. Smaller nuclear states. Some countries, like North Korea, which possess nuclear weapons and adopt aggressive policies, increase the likelihood of conflicts escalating to a global level. 3. Regional conflicts and military expansion. Eastern Europe. The Russian-Ukrainian crisis, which began in 2014 and escalated recently with the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022, is considered one of the most dangerous crises that could lead to a full-scale war in Europe, potentially involving global powers. The South China Sea and Taiwan. The struggle for control in the South China Sea and China's claims over Taiwan heightened the risk of military conflict in the region that may involve great powers. 4. Economic and technological conflicts. Technology race. Fierce competition in areas such as artificial intelligence, telecommunications, 5G, and control over digital infrastructure could ignite global disputes. Cyber threats and electronic warfare have become key elements in modern conflicts. Trade wars. Economic disputes, such as those that have arisen between the U.S. and China in recent years, could escalate and transform into military conflicts. 1. Nuclear deterrence. Many experts assert that the presence of nuclear weapons is a key deterrent preventing a new world war. The idea of mutually assured destruction makes it unlikely that any nation would risk using these weapons, as the consequences would be devastating for all. 2. International cooperation and global institutions. United Nations. Despite its flaws, the United Nations and its various organizations remain an important platform for resolving disputes peacefully and avoiding escalation. International alliances. International alliances such as NATO and the European Union play a role in stabilizing international relations and act as a deterrent against countries that might consider initiating a major conflict. Potential scenarios for World War III. 1. Proxy wars and conflict zones. A third world war could arise from the involvement of great powers in proxy conflicts in hot spots, such as the Middle East, Eastern Europe, or Asia. 2. Economic or technological conflict. Escalating to hot war. Technological and economic competition could lead to escalated trade or cyber disputes, turning into direct military conflicts between major nations. 3. Strategic error or nuclear incident. Unintended escalation could occur due to a misunderstanding or strategic error by one of the nuclear states, potentially leading to a major conflict. Conclusion. Currently, the likelihood of a third world war remains, but it is not certain. Awareness of risks, active diplomacy, and international institutions may prevent this catastrophic scenario. However, the international community must work to ease tensions and ensure ongoing dialogue among great powers to avoid any unnecessary escalation that could lead to a new world war. World War III, if it occurs, is likely to be a catastrophic event given the immense technological and military advancements since World War II. Several potential scenarios for its occurrence and impacts include nuclear wars. With many countries possessing nuclear weapons, a third world war could witness widespread use of these arms. This could lead to massive and immediate destruction of cities and infrastructure, along with catastrophic environmental effects such as nuclear winter, potentially resulting in famine and severe climate changes. 2. Cyber wars. In the digital age, World War III may not just be a conventional war. It could rely on cyber attacks targeting financial systems, critical infrastructure like electricity and water, and even military systems, creating chaos without the need for direct military confrontations. 3. Economic crises. World War III could lead to a global economic collapse, where conflicts destroy supply chains and disrupt international trade, causing countries to suffer from shortages of resources, food, and energy. 4. Regional conflicts. Instead of a traditional comprehensive world war, World War III might consist of a series of regional conflicts between major powers through proxies, where countries engage in disputes in specific areas without dragging themselves into direct war. 5. Environmental and humanitarian disasters. The use of chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons could result in long-term damage to the environment, with widespread contamination of soil and water, and the collapse of ecosystems, threatening life on Earth. 6. International alliances. Just as in the previous world wars, competing international alliances may form, complicating the conflict further. Countries with advanced technology and defense systems may be less prone to destruction, but the war could be costly for all. Humanitarian consequences. World War III would lead to a significant loss of life and could create massive humanitarian crises with millions displaced, destruction of health and educational infrastructure, and potentially requiring decades for reconstruction. Overall, if a third world war were to occur, it is likely to be more destructive and comprehensive than anything humanity has witnessed before, potentially changing the face of the world as we know it.